We are currently witnessing is a mask-off moment for Mark Carney and the Liberal Party. Pierre Poilievre has called for the end of the temporary foreign worker problem, with youth unemployment at 14.6%, Canadians being priced out of the housing market more and more and more. Housing prices since Justin Trudeau was elected in 2015 have skyrocketed upwards, unlike any other country in the Western world. And of course, there are several variables that contribute to this fact, but far and away the largest one is immigration. When you're only targeted to build 220,000 houses in the year 2025 and you're letting 1.5 million immigrants into the country, it's basic math, supply and demand. It's fantastic for Brookfield Asset Management, Mark Carney, and their $37 billion worth of assets. But for your average Canadian, they are getting hammered. Middle and lower class Canadians are getting priced out of the housing market more and more every day. Pierre Poilievre calls for the end of the temporary foreign workers program, which is abused like you wouldn't believe by Canadian companies. And what does Mark Carney do? He comes out yesterday and he says he's not getting rid of the program. He'll think about small reductions to it, and the reason being that the business owners that he has spoken to have said they need that temporary foreign workers program. What an absolute joke. Mark Carney, I'm going to give you an example. A Quiznos in your riding in Ottawa. Now, I know you've lived the vast majority of your adult life outside of Canada, so you may well not be aware of this. But at a Quiznos in your riding, where there are currently tens of thousands of Canadians, by your own Statistics Canada numbers, currently looking for work, Quiznos is hiring a $36 an hour position, but they put in an LMIA. They want to hire a temporary foreign worker. Are you aware of this, Mark Carney, in your riding, where there's tens of thousands of Canadians looking for jobs, and Quiznos has put in a LMIA request, and they're saying they can't fill a role with a Canadian? This system is an absolute joke, and it is ripe for abuse, and that's what happens time and time again. Since Justin Trudeau was elected in 2015, the temporary foreign workers program in Canada has become an absolute joke, thanks to Liberal policies that put foreign workers, that put immigrants over Canadian citizens. It's truly disgusting. The way that this system works, a company can put in a request to for an LMIA. And you're only supposed to be allowed to request an LMIA if you are unable to fill that role with a skilled Canadian worker. It was initially supposed to be only for high-skilled roles, but that is, of course, transformed under the past decade of insane Liberal leadership. And now roles like Quiznos sandwich makers are being posted for $36 an hour. Now, you may think to yourself, wow, $36 an hour. That sounds like a very high-paying job considering it's at Quiznos. Well, the system is abused time and time again. I've looked into how LMIAs work. The system is an absolute joke. It requires that you put the role in for $36, $37 an hour. So you'll see a company like Quiznos put in an LMIA request that they can't fill a role with a Canadian, so they need a temporary foreign worker. They'll put in the LMIA request at $36, $37. But then when they actually hire the immigrant, what they'll do is they'll pay them $17 or $18 an hour. In some cases, what they'll do is they'll pay them $6 or $7 an hour, and then they'll give them some sort of accommodation, put them in a broom closet or something, and say they can pay them even less. There is independent body after independent body saying that Canada is essentially a place where S-labor is being used. Companies, 15,000 Canadian companies use this temporary foreign workers program, and it is abused like you wouldn't believe. I feel bad for the temporary foreign workers who are coming in. It is ripe for abuse. Independent body after independent body has said this system is abused. Immigrants are abused by business owners who, when they sign up for LMIA, when they sign up for temporary foreign work, they are at the complete discretion of the business owner. If the business owner says this person's not doing their job, they're out of the country. So it gives the business owner an unbelievable amount of leverage, while at the same time costing Canadians great jobs that they should be having. I understand if LMIAs are necessary for an engineer, for a doctor, absolutely go ahead. But that's not what's happening. Time and time and time again. You look through these programs, they are service jobs at Tim Hortons, at Wendy's, at Burger King, service jobs, and LMIAs are being used because the government is paying 50% of the salary, 75% of the salary. the fact that a government is doing this to its people when the youth unemployment rate is 14.6%, the highest that it has been in decades, as a direct result of the temporary foreign workers program, and the government says, well, business owners say that we need to continue this program, just goes to show you how out of touch and how elitist a guy like Mark Carney is. Mark Carney looks at everyday middle and lower class Canadians as absolute peasants. He spent his entire career in service of the WF, Davos, Brookfield Asset Management. What they want to do is this entire cloud pivot strategy where they make the society, they allow way too many immigrants in. There's study after study after study that shows that this breaks the society down. And what they'll eventually do is they want pushback. They want pushback because they know that everyday Canadians are going to push back eventually and say, this is ridiculous. Our government's primary responsibility is to look after the people who elected them. This is common sense. You look through history 101. They know there's going to be a pushback to this unmitigated, unvetted immigration. We have never seen numbers like this before. And that will allow them to do things like push these digital IDs in 15-minute cities. It's a cloud pivot strategy, classic far left strategy from the 60s. You intentionally disrupt your society, and that allows you to say, oh, look, we have these far right extremists, these nationalists. We need digital IDs to keep you safe. It's pathetic what they're trying to do. Mark Carney does not work for the average middle and lower class Canadian. He works for global elite interests. He works for Brookfield Asset Management. His main priority is seeing real estate prices and housing prices continue to skyrocket in Canada and major disruptions in our society so that they can jump in and say, we need central digital banking systems. We need digital IDs to keep you safe. It's a truly sick strategy. And this temporary foreign worker program is a perfect example of exactly what Carney and his cronies are doing. We as Canadians need to stand up and say, enough is enough. The primary responsibility of a government, it shouldn't even be something that we have to spell out. The primary responsibility of a government is to look after the citizens who elected them, not to flood the country with immigrants, to dilute the value of the vote for ordinary everyday Canadians, because that's another aspect to this. Foreigners, temporary immigrants, first of all, they don't criticize the government. Everybody knows that. Second of all, they vote over 80% Liberal. So it's a strategy. They know that third and fourth generation and longer Canadians are not voting for this garbage. So they need the country to be 30% first generation immigrants because it assures them power at the voting box. It assures them that they are going to continue to win elections. It is truly a sick strategy, but fortunately, Canadians are seeing it through it more and more every day. We're seeing that in the polling results. The Conservatives are pulling ahead. The Liberals are doing absolutely everything they can to destroy this great country, but we're not going to let them do it. Join me Saturday, September 13th, noon, Parliament Hill. Take Canada Back rally. Patriotic Canadians taking a stand against this government looking to tear this beautiful country down. Our ancestors didn't die Vimy Ridge heroically, World War I, World War II in the Netherlands, fight heroically for Mark Carney and a bunch of clowns to come in and destroy this country. Noon, Saturday, September 13th, Parliament Hill. Take Canada Back. I want to see tens of thousands of patriotic Canadians for that rally. Please consider joining. Hit that join button if you're interested. Help mold this movement from the ground up. Support the cause. Like, subscribe, share. If you're watching on TikTok, make sure you're following on YouTube because I'm over 13,000 followers now on TikTok, and the Canadian government is not a big fan of dissidents. Patriotic Canadians are going to take this country back.